Hey guys! So obviously this is a different setup than I usually use for filming. Um, I am in my bed because frankly I am probably gonna take a nap while this uploads, so I'm skipping a step and making it easier on myself. And yeah, napping will probably definitely be a thing today. So anyway, yeah, ignore the weird camera angle. We just be hanging out. Okay. It is a really weird angle for my webcam though, so I'm trying to be as unawkward as possible, but I'm not sure if that's possible. So anyway, I went in and I had my allergy testing done today. And usually what that entails, and what I was told it was going to entail, is the little skin prick test on like the inside part of your arm, like down it with like a graph thing where they do little teeny tiny pinpricks on your skin and then do a drop on top of that of different allergens to see what you're allergic to. And you wait like half an hour or something, I don't know, and they check to see how big the itchy red bumps are for each one, if there's one, and they measure it and basically get a general feel for how allergic you are to each thing that they tested for. The downside to that is obviously they are putting these allergens into your body, and there is a small risk that you'll have like an anaphylactic reaction to one of them or more of them, which would be really bad. And when you're asthmatic, like I am, ironically because of these allergies, that risk is elevated. Unfortunately, it's also elevated even more so for allergy shots once you know what you're allergic to, which is probably my next step once I have an answer on what this is. But yeah, generally that's how it's done. This is how I was told it was going to be done. This is not how it was done today. So basically, I got blood drawn and was not mentally or emotionally prepared for this. So I had like a little mini internal meltdown over this, but I didn't cry, so gold star for me. I didn't faint. I didn't throw up. I didn't even get dizzy, so gold star for me, because usually any or all of these are a thing for me when I have blood drawn. Luckily, also, it was a non-fasting blood test, although that probably should have been a big tip-off to me that there was going to be blood work involved, that was written on the requisition form, that it was non-fasting. Usually they only specify that if you're having blood work done, and yeah, basically the doctor lied to me, because if I had known there was going to be a blood draw involved, yeah, I'm not sure I would have actually gone through with it. So anyway, yeah, there's that. It didn't like even really hurt that bad, honestly, so I mean, that's a big plus. It kind of hurts now. I feel like they hit a nerve, not because of pain, actually because the opposite. From like the spot where they drew the blood down is all pins and needlesy, and of all the IVs, of all the blood draws, of all the anything involving a needle in my arm I've ever had done, that's never been a thing before. Obviously, I can still move it. I've been typing with it ever since. It's been almost 2 hours though, and my arm is still numb. That kind of concerns me. That's part of why I kind of want to just take a nap and see if it feels normal when I wake up, because if it doesn't, we probably have to call the place and be like, hey, what'd you do to my arm? And I don't know what happens after that, but basically, sorry, I know I'm disgusting. That's part of why I had the allergy testing done to find out what the fuck am I allergic to. I can almost tell you right now it's either dust mites, dog dander, or both. And probably some other stuff, but those are probably the biggest two culprits. If dog dander is one of them, we're not getting rid of the dog. I'm gonna fucking live with it, is what's gonna happen. Because I love her too much. We're not getting rid of her. It's just she won't be allowed to get on my bed anymore, probably. It's gonna be the extent of it. So, yeah, that. Excuse me. I probably should have eaten, though, beforehand, because now I feel ridiculously out of it, which pretty typical for me if I've had blood work done, haven't eaten beforehand, especially because they took 2 vials, and I'm like, I like that. But anyway, so the downside of it not being the skin prick test is that I don't have immediate results. They're gonna call me in like 3 to 5 days. I assume they mean business days, being as today is Saturday, tomorrow is Sunday. I don't think they're gonna count a Sunday in there, so probably somewhere between Wednesday and Friday, I assume I'll get a call back from them, and they'll tell me what the results were. And in 1 to 2 weeks, I'll get a printed copy in the mail, and yeah. So, that is a thing. And then from there, I guess I find out what we do from there. I don't know if they're going to tell me how allergic I am to each thing, but apparently this blood draw tests for allergic reactions to over 30 different things in the blood itself to see if there's like I don't know if it's allergic things currently going on or what. If it's currently going on, then I guess we'll have an easy time of it, being as my nose basically has not stopped running in like the past 72 hours, and ultimately, since like last June, this has been a thing, so it's definitely a year-round when it's not seasonal, it's perennial, which also leads me to believe it's probably dust mites. Because it seems to clear up, usually. Every once in a while it doesn't, but usually if I go outside, like, within a minute or two, like whenever I go to get the mail, normally my nose is completely clear by the time I get to the mailbox. I walk back inside, within 1 or 2 minutes, my nose is already running again and I'm sneezing. So it's totally something in the house. Why I feel like the dog may also be a culprit is because it's like instantly in the house. I don't even have to get back to my bedroom, and the first room in the house is a room with a hardwood floor. Generally, dust issues aren't nearly as big an issue in rooms with wooden floors, and I've tested this out. I've tested this going into different rooms of the house and seeing how I react, and while I do have less of a reaction, but I still very much have reactions in there, it does seem I have less frequent and less severe ones in the uncarpeted rooms of the house. So the bathroom, the kitchen, and the entry hall, I have far less reaction in than anywhere else, because everywhere else is carpeted. So that leaves me to believe that it's probably dust, but because it is still in the wooden rooms, I feel like the dog may also be a culprit, because she's in literally every room of the house. So, I'm sorry. I know I'm gross. I'm not even trying at this point. But, yeah. So, if it's her, basically, I just gotta keep her off my bed so at least it won't be as contaminated. If it's dust mites, I guess we get to invest in all the pricey mattress covers and pillow covers that are like dust mite proof, and I get to start meticulously vacuuming my room every effing day, and it'll be good incentive for me to actually finish cleaning my room, because I keep starting it and then not coming back to it, which I'm sure isn't helping. But I mean, you would think there'd be some improvement just from getting even some cleaning done, which does seem like whenever I do clean, there is an improvement, so I'm like, yeah, it's probably dust. Oh man. The sucky thing with if it's dust is that no home is without dust. There is nowhere you can go that's dust free. No matter how clean you keep your home, there is always dust mites. So, some rooms obviously are heavier than others. I'm probably in the worst spot I could possibly be in right now because they thrive in beds. And even though I wash my bedding really, really frequently, that's why it's already faded, even though I've only been using it since last summer, yeah, it's still really bad. So I'm pretty sure we're gonna end up having to invest in those pillow mattress cover things, and have to up the cleaning ante, and I don't think my dad's gonna be allowing me to rip the carpets out of my room, so it's just gonna have to be, like, meticulously vacuumed all the damn time, which is gonna be a pain in my butt, so, yeah, that. The weird thing to me is that, like, I can be around visibly dusty stuff and it doesn't seem like it makes much of a difference versus being somewhere where you don't see any dust. I don't know. But supposedly it's not dust itself that causes the allergy, it's the dust mites in the dust. And not even necessarily them, but basically it's dust mite poop that makes people allergic. As totally gross as that is, yeah, their poop and their dead skins that they shed are apparently what trigger allergies, which is like, oh, well, that's completely disgusting. Thank you for pointing out that these are everywhere in the environment and unavoidable. Ugh. Like, no matter how clean you try to keep anything, there will always be dust mites. I'm like, that is freaking disgusting. And if you Google what they look like, oh my god, they look like freaking monsters from outer space or something. They look like aliens or something. Oh my god, they're so scary and gross. I can't even. Oh my gosh, it just, blah. But anyway, I just want relief at this point. I would be quite happy to not have a constantly stuffy and or runny nose. Actually, even if I could just stop the nose from running, I'd be good. I could deal with stuffy if I could get to stop running, because the running is disgusting and is like non-conducive to being able to do anything or like visit with people generally, because if your nose is literally dripping, like it's running that bad where even if you're like wiping it and blowing it like every couple minutes, it still drips. It's that gross. Nobody wants to hang around you. That's fucking disgusting. And yeah, that is honestly how bad my nose is on some days. I mean, you saw that one video of mine that I put up. It did it on camera, and I was like, I'm still mortified that that happened, by the way. Because usually I've been very lucky about it not happening on camera, or I have enough warning to where I can, like, lean and, like, wipe the nose real quick, and then just, wash my hands really good the second that I finish filming. But, yeah, that time I didn't get enough warning, and it just like the faucet, because it was a really bad allergy day. I don't even know what was up that day. Even going outside didn't help it. So yeah, it was very embarrassing, and it's very embarrassing every time it happens. It's happening a little bit right now. That's why I keep having to do that thing, which again I know is totally gross, and I'm gonna wash my hands as soon as I hit the stop button on this, because ew. I mean, the one good thing about allergy nose runniness, I don't want to use the word snot because it's so much grosser, even though that's what it is, from like being sick nose runniness, is that when it's allergies, it's just clear and it's basically water. So that's considerably less disgusting than if it were like green pouring from my nose all the time. I don't think I'd be able to mentally tolerate it if it were green all the time. Ugh, that would be so gross. Ugh, ew. I shudder at the thought of it. Yeah, I mean, it's just nasty. Nasty. Ew, sorry. Anyhow, so I don't really know what comes next. I don't know if just environmental changes in the room will be enough, because like I said, it's not just my room, it's everywhere, and it's not even just our house, it's everybody's house that I go over to, no matter how clean their house is. It even happened at my uncle's house where he doesn't even have carpets in there. So yeah, that's why I'm like, I don't think ripping out the carpets is the right answer for this. It's just gonna have to be meticulous vacuuming and everything, and because I'm asthmatic, I'm probably gonna have to wear a mask while I do it and feel like a freak of nature, but you know, if it helps with the allergies, I am willing to do it, because this is getting really ridiculous, and I am kinda at the end of my rope, especially because it seems like none of the antihistamines are working anymore. Like, none of them at all, and I'm like, is there anything left that I haven't tried? I'm not sure if there is, and that's kind of scary. Like, the last thing that my doctor prescribed was 600 milligram doses of Allegra. it's like 6 times as much a normal dose of the over-the-counter stuff is. That terrifies me. But it's like, the over-the-counter stuff never did anything for me in the first place. What makes you think that giving me basically an overdose of it is gonna do anything other than give me an overdose on meds? Frankly, I haven't gotten that med filled yet, so I haven't tested it. Mostly because I'm still leery after the whole singular thing and how unbearably dizzy and badly it triggered my vertigo. Just, ugh. Yeah, I kind of don't want a repeat of that, and I feel like being that high of a dose, I can almost guarantee this is gonna be another thing that makes me nauseous and dizzy, isn't it? So, if it is, and that's a deal breaker, and that one's not gonna work out either. I might, like, cut one in half and try that and see if it's enough to do anything, and if maybe that doesn't make me dizzy. I don't know. So we'll have to see, because something's gotta do something. Because, I mean, even if I start taking allergy shots, generally it takes at least a year before you start seeing any improvement, which, oh my god. Another year of this sounds like unbearable. I mean, obviously I'm gonna have to put up with it anyway, it's life, but a year before it does anything? That's not even fixed, that's just some improvement. A lot of the reports I've read say that year 2 is when you see the biggest amount of improvement from the year before. So, yeah, and generally you have to have the shots for 3 to 5 years, sometimes more in unique cases, but sorry, I'm gross, I know. But yeah, it's just like, this thing is never ending, isn't it? It'd be really great if, there was just anything that would work in the meantime. My doctor also said that she could give me shots of Depomedrol, I think, in the meantime, which it's another one of those things that I did my homework on, and it looks like could easily turn into a nauseous, dizzy, spell-causing thing, which if it does, I'm kind of fucked for like 3 weeks if it does, because that's how long it takes to work itself out of your system. I'm like, oh, that's great. So I'm kind of hesitant to try it because of that. So I'm trying to see if there's other options, but she's like, yeah, for people with really, really severe allergies that just don't respond to anything else, sometimes I give them that. So I'm like, well, I mean, at least it's an option that exists, but at the same time, I don't want to be dizzy and nauseous. I so can't handle that. And I just, I don't know where I was going with this. I totally lost my train of thought. I'm sorry, guys. But, yeah, I'm wondering if there's, like, any other meds and any other avenues she can direct me towards. Because, I mean, there's gotta be something. There's got to be something else that can be done in the meantime till shots can kick in. But I figure at least getting the test done and getting the allergens identified and trying to make some environmental changes to help. I mean, all these things seem like good stuff towards at least partially alleviating some of the symptoms. It may not get rid of them, but at least might not be as severe. But, yeah, I don't know. It just, even where shots are concerned, it's like the sooner that they can be started, the sooner it'll be when I can start seeing an improvement. So basically, yeah, that would be good. If I could have improvement sooner rather than later, that would be really good. And preferably not, go into anaphylactic shock, because that does not sound fun. In my luck, I'd be the one that die from it. I'd rather not have that be a thing, Funny thing. I'd rather not, have my blood pressure drop to death or make it to where I can't breathe because my throat and tongue swelled. And yeah, basically anaphylaxis sounds like a horrible way to go. I don't want that to be a thing. So, and because I'm asthmatic, I'm at a heightened risk of it. I'm like, oh god, I can't be the only person ever who's been asthmatic that needs to have allergy shots, can I? I mean, especially if it's something like dust mite allergy or pet dander. Is that even a thing that you get anaphylaxis from in the shots? I mean, I suppose feasibly you can get it from literally any substance at all, depending on your personal system, but it doesn't seem that likely, would it? I mean, if any of you have more info on this than I do, please share it, because, yeah. To me, it doesn't seem logical that it'd be that likely, because you don't really hear about it happening to people with those particular allergies. So, if it is, then, yeah. I don't know. I don't know. It just doesn't seem that likely or that common anyway. So hopefully I wouldn't be in some teeny tiny demographic that has that reaction. I would hope, anyhow. So that's about all that I have to possibly say on this right now, because I don't have any further info yet. So I guess once I get, sorry, I keep having to swallow. I'm in a really weird position where my neck is like, and I'm like trying to swallow. It's like, no, because your neck's like, ah. Anyway, so yeah, when I know something in terms of results, I'll probably do an update with that. And when I know what the treatment avenue is gonna be, I'll update with that, and I'll probably update on how that ends up going, because it sounds like it's gonna be a lengthy process, guys. So stick with me, it's gonna be a long and bumpy ride, I'm pretty sure.